I'll tell you about a fellow who was saved down in California. We were down on this little church. It was only about 3 blocks off the beach, and I was preaching in a revival there. Sea breezes blowing, windows all open, the doors all open. And a fellow walked in off the street. He had on no pair of sandals, long stringy hair, old ragged hippie clothes. We found out he's just a beach bum, been living on the beach. Down there, had him a little place under some big boulders that he actually lived in. And the minute I gave the invitation, he came down that aisle, said, I want to trust Jesus Christ. I want to be saved. And later, when the pastor was introducing the people who'd come forward, he said, this man wants to say something. And he said, people, I've heard of Jesus Christ, more of a byword than anything else. Didn't know anything about him at all. Didn't know anything about the Bible. Didn't know anything about God. I never knew before that Jesus Christ was God in the flesh, who came down to this earth and died on the cross to save me from my sins. I'm so happy to find out who Jesus is. And I'm glad that I came in off the street. The thing that attracted me to come in off the street was the wonderful music. I heard the people singing, and it sounded so good. I said, I want to go in there and hear people who are singing such happy songs, and I came in. And it's the first time I've ever heard that Jesus Christ died for my sins. I don't know why anybody should have to hear it twice. He, first time he ever heard it in his life, he came and gave his heart and soul, mind and body by faith into the hands of Jesus Christ. That ought to be good enough for anybody on this earth. When the Spirit of God speaks to them and reveals the truth of God to them, they would respond with joy to the message. You see, the gospel means good news, and he thought it was good news, and he responded to the good news like everybody ought to respond to the good news. These things are just typical of what happens. I'm sure they happen to a lot of other preachers. It's just, that's some things that's happened to me here and a few other places too. We have here, I remember the first baptism we ever had in Anchorage. I baptized 4 people. Joe Blackard and a girl named Mary Gruhowski and a girl named Betty Pettit. They were young people in those days, I would say in their early 20s. And then the son, 12, 14-year-old boy of B.C. Evans, who was a Baptist preacher here. I baptized those 4 people out here in Lake Spenard. Now those 4 people, 2 of them still live here in Anchorage. Joe Blackard, who was from Oklahoma, was a heavy-duty operator, came up here working during the war, helping to build Elmendorf Air Force Base and other air bases around the country. And Joe finally got in the automobile business, selling automobiles, had a big used car automobile lot with another fellow. Then Joe got in the contracting business, building buildings, and especially air bases and airfields and roads. And he had all this heavy-duty equipment. Then himself, Joe, has become a very prosperous, very wealthy person, he and his wife. And they're still here. And they're still my friends. They come over to see us all the time. And we go see them. They've been friends to us through all the years we've been in Alaska. Almost from the very beginning. We met Mary and Joe Blackard. And Joe was saved and has been a member of the First Baptist Church all these years, both Mary and Joe. It's been a joy to have fellowship with them. So the years have passed, and it's been more and more and more people. And another couple I was privileged to win to the Lord was Jerry and Sue Bruton. A man in our church, Don Dietz, had some business dealings with him, and he talked them into coming to church. They filled out a visitor's card. The next week I was looking through these visitor's cards, and I saw here's some people who are not saved. And one evening I went out and visited them. And they happened to be at home. Both Jerry and Sue. I sat down and explained to them how you could be saved. And I said to Jerry, are you folks saved? He said, according to what you have said, we're not. I said, wouldn't you like to be saved? He said, well, I guess we ought to be. I didn't win them to the Lord that night, but next Sunday morning they came to church, and they came and publicly trusted the Lord. I baptized them. They've been my friends ever since. A blessing to my life and my soul. I have discovered down through the years the greatest treasure that a person can have is not in a bank. It's not in stocks and bonds. It's not in the material things of this world. It's friends. Just plain good friends who will stick by you through thick and thin. Who will stand by you in the high days and in the low days. Who will love you in spite of what you are. A friend, a real friend, is the greatest blessing that anybody on the face of this earth can ever have. I think that of all the wealth I have accumulated, and it's very little materially, I assure you of that, but the great wealth I have is have some friends. I had a man sat in my office one day, and he said to me, "You're the luckiest guy I know." I said, "Why?" He said, "I could count every true friend I have on one hand, and you have hundreds of people who are your friends and who love you. You're the luckiest guy that I know of." And I think he was telling the truth, because I've come to that conclusion myself. The most valuable thing on this earth is a good friend.